and welcome to Starry Hilder's off-grid homestead. Isn't that beautiful? This is our homestead in the panhandle of Idaho. And hi! If you don't know me, I am Starry Hilder, and I live up here with my husband, Mr. Hilder. We are a 100% self-sustainable, off-the-grid 50-something couple who decided to leave everything. Yes, we left everything back in Wisconsin, sold a very successful taxidermy business. I was working as a nurse, left our friends, left our family, and we took the bull by the horns and said, enough is enough. We want to live this off-grid homesteading lifestyle. And we did it. We did it. We came out here, and friends, truly, we started this homestead from scratch. And now we are so blessed because it has been 5 years and we did it. We have been successful and we are living off the grid and we have no regret. Now the awesome thing about this homesteading lifestyle is that it's doable, it's obtainable. And if you come to my channel, you will see us always in action, giving you tips and advice and practical solutions to how you can do it too. Now this week, Patara, my friend Patara from Appalachia, Homestead, her YouTube channel, and I always have a hard time saying it, Appalachia, she's in Tennessee. She just put up a really awesome video about a couple who has 6 children and they work full-time and they have a homestead and they finally said, we're done. We're done. And Patara did an excellent job at addressing that comment of when you're done, when you've had enough, when you can't take it anymore when it comes to homesteading. And the sad reality of this comment is it doesn't have to be that way. It broke my heart to hear that those people had gotten to the point in their homesteading lifestyle that they couldn't take it anymore. So Patara touched on a lot of great points. Don't forget to watch her video. But after she made that video and I watched it, I thought, you know what? I got to talk about this too. Because living off the grid here and having a homestead, we're all in the same boat. And so I'm going to talk about some things that you as newbie homesteaders should really think about so that you don't get to the point and say, I'm done, because we don't want to hear that from you. All right, come along, let's talk about it. Let's talk about growing your own food. Oh, this is the best part of homesteading because you can control the food you grow and you save so much money and it's so much healthier and it's all organic. But this is an area where you can also get to the point where you say, I'm done. Why? Because a lot of new homesteaders go gonzo. They go gonzo. They decide to till up 2 acres of land. They want to grow everything under the sun. They make raised beds out of everything. Not a good idea. At least not when you're starting out. You have to be very practical and smart. So here in our homestead, and I'm sure you friends have seen it, but if you're new to the channel, Back to Eden Garden Method. Why did we choose it for our homestead? Because it's the most self-sustainable gardening method out there. It reflects nature. You don't have to worry about tilling and weeding and fertilizing and pest control. 100% organic and water. Water is valuable on most homesteads. You don't have to worry about watering that much. We can leave our garden in the dead of summer for 2 weeks and come back and our plants are still thriving. Don't go too big and please grow what you're going to eat because I know it sounds pretty cool to grow everything underneath the sun, especially the first year. But remember, you got to can it, dehydrate it, or freeze it. And it's not practical. So if you don't want to go down the road of saying, I'm done, there's a couple tips from Starry that will help you stay out of that garden dilemma. The other thing you have to consider for your homestead is wood. Is wood going to be something you should have for your homestead? Now take Patara. She's in Tennessee. You wouldn't think it would get cold there, but apparently it does. And guess what they have for a backup plan? A wood stove. And they have cordwood on hand. Good preparation. Here on our homestead, that's all we rely on is wood. We love our wood heat. And not only do we love our wood heat, but if worse comes to worse, yes, we can cook on our wood stove. We have a water jacket on our wood stove. So very self-sustainable. But is it going to be right for you? You take the family of 6 whose husband and wife is working all day long. How are they going to keep the fire going? When is he going to have time to type of responsibility when it comes to harvesting and gathering and splitting and stacking? There's a commitment there. So one shoe does not fit all. But again, Patara would agree with me when I give this advice. If you decide not to go with 100% wood for your homestead, just use it as a backup plan. Because the other thing you have to decide for your homestead is off-grid or on-grid, or maybe just grid-tied. You know, you don't want to go down that road to say, I'm done. Now you take the 6 kids. 6 kids probably use a lot of electricity. I don't care how frugal you may think you can be in harnessing those kids in to turn the lights off. They're probably not going to. More computer use, more internet use, more lights, more of everything. So, is it practical for a family that big to be off the grid? Well, that's something that you have to sit down and decide. Each family is different. Myself and Mr. Hilder, easy to be off the grid. We are low consumers of electricity. But could most people do that? So you have to decide for your own homesteading needs what is going to be a practical solution. Do you want to make sure you don't say you're done? Well, you can always have a backup plan. We always advocate, get some solar panels, buy a generator, have a plan so when the grid does go down, you're not caught with your pants down. And then you know what? You can enjoy the benefits of being on the grid, which can be a great convenience. It really can be. But then when something happens to it, you're ready. See? Practical solutions so you don't say, I'm done. And the next thing that we're going to talk, 3, 2, 1. And so now let's talk about farm animals on the homestead. Because, right, homesteading is about having farm animals. Oh, they're so cool. So I've seen it before. A lot of people go gonzo in this area too. They're like, we're going to get ducks and chickens and turkeys and maybe some pigs. Oh, and maybe a mule and maybe a horse and some cows. And they just keep getting more and more and more. And guess what happens? Pretty soon they're saying, I'm done. This is the thing. You look at Patara's homestead. They are set up to have farm animals, which means you need land, you need equipment, you need a way to feed these animals and care for the animals. It is a huge responsibility. Farm animals can be very freeing, but you really have to think wisely when it comes to what type of farm animals you want on your homestead, because they can either enslave you or they can free you. And this is the area where, like for me and Mr. Hilder, backyard chickens work well, meat birds, really easy to raise, and again, we have the ability to hunt. And so we can go out and we can harvest a whitetail. We can harvest a mule deer, hopefully harvest an elk to fill our pantry. And we don't have to rely on having farm animals. Well, that is all of Starry's practical tips. Say goodbye, brothers, from our homestead, look at that, to hopefully, friends, your homestead, where you're not going to be saying, I'm done. And instead, you're going to be thanking God above for all the abundant blessings that He has given you on your own homestead. All right, good luck, and I hope you thought this was valuable information. because I want you to succeed. All right, bye. Say goodbye.